When recording your shots, you want to have everything organized. So right here is where you would name your shot. So for this guy, maybe I'll call this Manny for mannequin. And I'll put an underscore shot right there. And you'll also notice right here that we have versions. So every time I record a camera movement, I will get a new version added to this recording name for these shots. Let's take a look at frame rate now. So just like lenses and sensors, we have presets for frame rates here. So if you want to shoot in 60 or 24, which is, the way film has been shot for years, or 30 frames per second, which is what we have now, we can choose that from this list, or we can choose it from this pop down here. Now the interesting thing about frame rate is I have this guy animated at 30 frames per second, but say I had him animated at 60. And I want to take my camera move at 30 rate, or let's say film, 24 frames per second, right? It doesn't matter what the animation speed is on him, because whenever we do our shot, it will come out to 24 frames per second. This is really interesting. We don't have to pay attention to the frame rate of the animation anymore. All we have to do is determine what we want our output to be. And we can do that from right here, and everything will work out perfectly. So this is where you would determine your frame rate for what you want to shoot your camera moves with. Okay, we've done all of our hard work, and it's time to take our first shot. So in the recording tab, you'll notice that we have this area for master sequence. This character here has a walk cycle attached to him. So if we hit play now, nothing will happen. We need to tell it the master sequence that is driving this animation to be populated into this master sequence option here. So we'll just come in, and I'll choose this Manny shot 2, which is the animation that I've attached to him. And when I choose this, you'll notice he is in his walking position. And we also have a timeline down here, a playback bar, which you see now we can scrub through here, and you can see Manny's walk cycle. Right? I can hit play, and it'll play. I can go back to frame 1, and there we go. The second thing I want to do is name my recording name. What are my shots going to be called? So I'll just call this Manny shot underscore, and it will allow my versions to be populated for every shot that I take. So right now we're going to start at version 1. The next thing down here is the frame rate. So at the moment we have 100 frames per second chosen for our frame rate, but I want to shoot at maybe something like 24. The good thing about this frame rate is it doesn't matter what we record in or what the animation speed that this was recorded in. This could be recorded at 120 frames per second, but if we choose the frame rate of 24, in the end, we'll be capturing our recording at 24 frames per second, which is awesome, because we don't have to worry about how he was created or what his frame rate of the animation is. At the bottom here is the actual recording speed. So if we give this a value of 2, it will slow down our recording, or if we want to speed up our recording, we would give it a value of, say, 0.5. So let's just take our first shot, and then we'll take a look at this recording speed as well. Now that I have everything connected, you'll notice that on the iPad, I have a little recording button at the bottom where I can just hit record right here, and I can start taking my own shots by myself. Now, typically, I would want an operator running my recording here, so I can just be out on the stage and focusing on my shots, right? So let's take our first shot. I'm going to hit this record button, and then you'll see there is my character, and I can pan along with him and zoom out. And there he goes. So the recording stopped. We took our first take. Now let's take another take. Right? I'm going to go back to frame 1. And let's do a slow motion version now. So let's zoom into him a little. Like so. I will change this number to 2. So this will slow down his recording. I'm going to hit record again. And now you'll notice that he's recording in slow motion. Alright, so I'm going to stop recording. I'm going to rewind. And let's take a look at what will happen if I go down to 0.5. So now we're at a speed of 0.5. And now you can see that he's moving at a much faster pace. So that's how you would take your recording of each of your shots, and then when we come back, we'll look at the review and see exactly what we did. For this next shot, we're going to take a look at platform target. And what platform target allows us to do is attach the camera to the motion of a character or an object that is animated. So instead of me panning my joystick and following this mannequin down the path from point A to point B, I can attach this camera to him and allow him to take me for the ride, and then I can focus on making a camera move around him while he is taking me along for the ride with him. So let's see how we can do this. I'm going to grab my eyedropper. I'm going to click on my mannequin, and that will populate him into place. Then I'm going to pick what I want this targeted to, which I'm just going to say the head. And you can see now when I just scrub through the timeline, my camera is just following right along with him. So this is a really powerful feature. I use this quite often when I'm doing shots. So let's take a look at this and actually get a shot going. So we're going to be on take 2. And we have everything set as the last time. And I'm going to hit record. And now I can start to zoom in as he's taking me along for the ride. So pretty cool feature. And like I said, I use this quite often. Okay, so we're going to do one more thing, take one more shot, and then we will start to look at reviews. So right now I just want to, have a focus target. We have him as a platform target, so he's going to take us along for the ride, but I also want to control the focus. So if we come down to our tracking, I'm going to say tracking, I'm going to click this eyedropper, I'm going to click our guy. So it's there. He's chosen in our focus target, and I want his head to be what we're focused on. So here's his head. All right, so we have our platform set up. We have our focus target set up, and we will take one more shot. All right, so now you see when I come in here, right, everything in the background focus is starting to get that nice depth of field, but his head will always remain in focus. And this works out really well when you're tracking a bunch of characters through a scene. So always keep this focus target in mind.